I've just returned from 5 weeks traveling, and I thought it'd be a really good time to review the camera gear I took, what I probably wouldn't take next time, a few things that I wish I had taken, and just do a general overview of what was most useful and what wasn't. So I've got quite a lot of camera gear, but because I record video for YouTube, I'm interested in stills photography, time-lapse, and I also like drone photography and videography. So running through my basic kit, got a low pro 450 AW backpack, really versatile backpack, and about as large as you can get away with as cabin baggage. That was really important. I've got 2 tripods. One I actually use for time-lapse photography when the camera might be set up and running for several hours, and it leaves me another tripod free for roaming photography. I've got 2 camera bodies and 2 lenses. Now, 2 camera bodies might seem excessive, but because I'm interested in time-lapse photography and we were staying at places where I could leave the camera set up for quite a few hours without any security worries, it was useful to have 2 camera bodies. And I did need 2 lenses in that case, because what I would often do is leave this lens on the time-lapse camera, have that running, and then I've got the other camera with a Tamron 35-150, very versatile zoom lens, as a roaming camera. So that combination of 2 camera bodies and 2 lenses proved to be really useful, and I would take that next time. The other combination I would often use is if I was going for a day trip into a village, or a day trip hiking up a hill, and I just wanted to travel light, not carry the backpack. What I would do is carry this sling bag, which is actually the top of an older camera backpack. Carry this sling bag, which is very light, put 1 lens in the sling bag and maybe a few accessories like a polarizing filter, a blower brush, a bit of food. I could put some water in there as well. And then the camera, the main camera, with this Peak Design camera strap, I would carry like this, and quite easy to walk around comfortably for quite a while with this combination, and I could be ready at short notice to take photographs as the opportunity arose. So this setup I use quite a lot, and I would definitely travel like this again. The only downside of this lens camera combination is it is reasonably heavy. That doesn't worry me too much, I'm kind of used to it, but it may be an issue for some people. The thing I would do to offset that is make sure you get a really good camera strap. So this is quite a wide camera strap, a rubber backing on one side, which means if you've got it over your shoulder, it's a non-slip surface, so it doesn't keep falling off if you're just hanging the camera down. It's also very quick to adjust the length of the strap on the go. So really good camera strap system, way better than the camera straps that Sony cameras come with. So what else is in my kit? I also took a flash system, the Godox flash system, with a remote and some flash modifiers. The DJI Mic 2 kit for recording audio, really good kit. The drone I've got is a DJI Mini 4. It all fits in this bag, so great for travel. That's got 3 batteries, the drone controller, the drone, and a few spare bits and pieces. Really, really good drone for travel. So I've also got a laptop. A couple of reasons for the laptop. I needed to do some work while I was away, and also I like to process images as I'm traveling to just check that everything's going okay, and so I don't end up with a huge backlog of work to process when I get home. Some things I should have had with me, just a couple of small things really. One was some close-up tubes. I ended up being in an area that had a lot of wildflowers. It was spring and it was really lush, some beautiful flowers and plants, but the 35 to 150 lens can't get that close. It's not a macro lens, so it would have been great to have a couple of extension tubes which, when you put on between the camera and the lens, just help you get a lot closer to things like wildflowers. That would have been handy. And the only other thing I wish I took was a fairly specialized bit of equipment, which is a clamp and a mount for a drone controller, which I can mount on handlebars of a bike, because I used a bike quite a lot while I was traveling and often had the drone following me while I was on the bike. And it's quite awkward having the drone controller over your shoulder when you're biking, and just having this handlebar mount would have been quite handy. But really that's the only couple of things that I wish I had. So that's pretty good going. The flash system I would probably leave behind because it's a little bit weighty and I hardly ever used it. I thought I might use it for portraits or close-ups, but in actual fact didn't really need it much at all, so I'd leave that behind next time. The other thing I didn't use much was this phone gimbal, which surprised me because it is a really good gimbal and it's reasonably light and quite versatile. But I ended up defaulting to the 360 camera more often, just because the 360 camera, it's a little bit more versatile, it's quick to set up, I can record good audio with it, so just tended to default to this mostly, so possibly would leave that behind next time. But apart from that, although this seems like a lot of gear, and we were traveling some of the time on train and buses, I certainly wasn't carrying all this gear with me when I was going out on trips. A lot of it would stay at the accommodation and I would just either travel with the backpack, do day trips with a backpack, or a small kit for moving into a village or climbing a hill or going on a trek. So that's my basic travel kit. I think I got it about right. A few tweaks for next time, but pretty happy with what I took, and it was all quite manageable as far as packing and carrying.